So the conversation that started out in this episode after the caterpillar incident had me wondering about this world that they're in. It, I think what happens is when they do the ascension is that they become better versions of themselves. They try to improve on their past mistakes, whether they remember or not. Curious Cat did a very interesting explanation of it, starting with the prince. The prince was supposed to be a king, but they have a prince. So I was thinking maybe this is his son. But no, this is the king being reincarnated. The king lost his life in the last story. So he came back as a prince, but this time he must do whatever he can to win. Because that character is supposed to win no matter what. It's part of the world. So this world has a natural order to it. This natural order improves upon itself when it fails. It restarts and improves more and more. So soon later, the question is, will that world enter its perfect state? You would ask. And who knows? I'm just throwing stones out here. No, they go on to the next thing, making this, of course, weird parfait. A parfait, of course. It has to be a freaking weird ass parfait. And it's about leprechaun hair. Have you noticed Ruby has been very docile recently? How she's just been out of it more and more. And the opening shows that. Each time they go to a new location, Ruby loops a bit a part of herself. This is what I call the deconstruction reconstruction project. In order for us to become anew, we must first destroy our old selves, like a phoenix, or some will compare it to a caterpillar turned to a butterfly. Then you go to a cocoon and then you become the butterfly. This one is different. You are destroying yourself. You're not reforming yourself. You're destroying yourself. Everything that Ruby once was is no longer there. She doesn't have Crescent Rose. She even gave away the pendant to the promise of her mom, to the teapot lady. And she met this strange blacksmith that came out of nowhere telling her about her problems. She tried to pretend that she could handle the huge burden, but she can't. Even to where I was thinking, this is the reason why at first her friends are small. She would always rely on her friends. Remember, Ruby was a socially awkward person before all this, She probably didn't have any friends. And when she went to Beacon, she just wanted to be around her sister, and that's it. She wanted to be with anybody else. All she wanted to do was fight monsters, save the day, like in the stories, and that was it. But as she gone through life more and more, she realizes it's more than just that. It's more than just saving the day. It's more than just fighting the monsters. There's so many gray areas that she was unaware of. So many terrible things that has happened to her. And so because of that, she is just realizing, finally able to truly take it all in. And she's just there. Even when the Jabberwocky was attacking, she was just sitting there, like, clueless, like she knew what to do. Usually she's the first one ready to fight, but she doesn't have Crescent Rose. So she's just sitting there to the point where even Weiss had to pick her up and say, hey, we gotta go. But she is in this state now where she is breaking. She's not broken as yet, but she is breaking. When she'll be broken? Well, soon. I think it'll be very soon. And then as this thing shows up, we get a visit from the Rusted Knight. Interesting, someone would wear rusted armor and don't bother cleaning it. I guess that's just the part of what he is, in a way. And another thing, before I get more to Rusted Knight, because you saw the episode, you know what's going on. Let's talk more about Alex. They're interesting more and more about this character without her being there. If you haven't realized, when you're watching the opening, you see Alex in the opening. It's almost as if she is there herself. More like they're following her shadow, her breadcrumbs. Like Hansel and Gretel, they're following the crumbs in her shadow, but they're doing things differently. They're seeing what she wrecked and how it's picking itself back up. That's pretty much what it is. So imagine you hear about this place that's nice and neat, then you go there and see it completely destroyed, and they're all saying, you're asking, what happened? And you're asking the people around, people like, oh, it's this happened, that person did, and everyone's talking about that person, their experience with that said person. So you're just following in the aftermath of who that person that came in before you did. They just caused an entire mess, and you are just trying to get through it and everything. And you thought you knew everything about this place, but you don't. Like talking about the Ascension, Alex apparently left that out of the book. The thing about history is a lot of stuff is left out, a lot of personal stuff. So no matter how much we read books and documentations, we'll never truly know the full story of anything. It'll always be out in the open, never truly knowing what truly is, throughout time. Because we ourselves were not there. And if we were there, we were not that person who witnessed that history. Those are their life's choices. Say you were making an autobiography. You could even then still leave certain things out, or you would see a different perspective of how things went about. So there's that. So I was intrigued in how they were realizing what else did Alex leave out of the book that they might not prepare for. Now on to the Rusted Knight. With riding in on his, I think it's a deer or an antelope. Probably an antelope because that giant ass horns. So it could be an antelope. But it's facing off the Jabberwocky. But so after they destroyed it, it did the particle thing that Neo does. That's when they realized, wait, Neo? So yes, Neo is messing with the Jabberwocky, and she made her own Jabberwocky army. Now apparently this thing is the only thing that keeps people from resurrecting again. As I said before, they do Ascension. When they fail or die, they come back as different but yet same with who they used to be. And they could do this over and over again upon improvement. But now we have this Jabberwocky. And this Jabberwocky, when you get eaten by it, you don't come back. I believe this thing is the other side of the order of this world, where things are too perfect of immortality, this thing brings in death. That's why it says everything has to die. It has to die. And I think the cat was about to talk about it, but it was too late. The Jabberwocky shows up. This is their death. So imagine they were in this world that Jabberwocky didn't exist. They would continue on resurrecting. No consequence whatsoever. They die, oh well, they'll come back. But thanks to this Jabberwocky, their lives have value now. They're running in terror, they're running in fear. This is it. There's no Ascension after this. So this is their version of death. This is their balance. Like we have our balance. We live our lives knowing death's right around the corner. You don't know when or where you're going to go. But because of this creature, which is in our reality, death itself, we live life a bit more cautious sometimes. Most of us do anyways. So that was interesting. Now let's talk about the thing that we all shocked of. John. Is that you, John? John takes off the helmet of the Rusted Knight, and there he is. And it's like, Team RWBY, it's been a while. They kind of teased this in the opening. They teased showing John, and there was a bunch of clocks behind him, when you think about it. And this probably shows that he's the man that was out of time. How did he get there? Who knows? We're going to have a good explanation, hopefully. But either way, it explains a lot. Well, not explains a lot, but it explains the opening of what John went through, The clocks behind him, showing that time has passed for him. The only question is how he ended up in that world, too. Did he fall? I don't remember him falling. I don't know. It's been a while. So, yeah, man. things are getting interesting, and I can't wait to see what happens next week. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, of course, hit that bell icon. This is Madcrownxox, all Mad signing out.